Luxury clients, how to acquire them, how to keep them happy. Hi, my name is Roxanne Govari with Pemberley Realty here in San Diego, California, the home of luxury listings, along with my partner Santiago Guerin. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. Doing good, doing good. Very interesting topic today. Yeah, another good one. You know,
Another good one, huh?
yep. You know, luxury clients. Everyone wants to have luxury clients. Everyone's interested about luxury clients. So today we're gonna talk about working with them and how to maybe, like you said, attain them and get them. So I think maybe we'll start off with the first question, like, what does it mean? Well, like, what is a luxury client? What would you consider a luxury client?
Well, well, first of all, let's say luxury client or luxury home. Two different things, right?
Correct.
Um, I would say you could say high net worth clients
Mm-hmm.
and then luxury homes. That's the first distinction that I would say let's try to make,
Yeah.
right? And I think as far as high net worth clients, the biggest thing would be privacy. And this actually brings up another hot topic that we have right now going on, and that is a lawsuit between Compass and between Zillow.
Yeah.
Now, I posted something online this past week about, I just put it out there and it said, "Did you know about Compass and Zillow suing each other? And what's your opinion about that?" And it was a hot topic. I got a lot of discussions going, some in favor of the Zillow and some in favor of Compass. And what I noticed about it, which was very interesting, was that mm, either one or the other didn't quite understand what the feud is about, or when they were defending one side versus the other, um, wasn't quite exactly accurate in terms of what the feud is again about.
Yeah.
Now, Compass has been very, very, Compass or Compass agents have been very successful in basically controlling the luxury market. And as such, they have a marketing strategy in terms of three-step marketing strategy, and not putting the house on the market right from the get-go. And initially, the argument was, when you're dealing with luxury clients, they don't want their houses to be exposed to the entire market, and they don't want everybody to come through their house, and that may be true, right? But if you look at the argument from Zillow's side, Zillow is basically advocating transparency,
Yeah.
and if you're thinking of transparency, I actually happen to be on the side of Zillow, because I think it's important to have transparency. It's important to make sure that you have everything be um, be out there for everybody to have access to everything that's for sale, and therefore that transparency is a good thing,
Yeah.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
But then you can argue the argument that Compass has is that, um, let's say I'm the listing agent, I go work hard, I secure a client, and then I put the house on the MLS, and then MLS feeds it to Zillow, and then Zillow then says that this property is, uh, you know, Zillow is displaying this property for sale, but it doesn't say my name prominently there. So I don't get the credit. I don't get the calls from potential buyers. And yes, this is something that over the years we all have complained about. And when it
Yeah.
first became that MLSs were feeding the data into all of these aggregates, such as Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, and all of these places.
Yeah.
Yes, we were not getting the credit. We're still not getting the credit. But if we are losing the credit in favor of actually having transparency, having access, having everybody see our properties going on the market, and that is a sacrifice that I think is worth to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So now going back to the topic of
Luxury.
luxury and
Yeah.
how to work with those clients. So I'm going to say the privacy on behalf of the high net worth clients, that privacy can be afforded even if you are on the market. There is an agent that I know in our Del Mar area that sells a lot of homes in Del Mar and in Rancho Santa Fe. And I have seen one of the strategies that he uses, which, by the way, he's not with Compass, um, but this is a strategy that he uses where he has lots of professional photography. He
Mhm.
has drone pictures. He has videos. Everything is available on all the portals such as Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, all of those. And once the property sells, then basically he takes off all the pictures, he erases all the videos, and you only have one picture from the front of the house. So then you're right back to having your privacy,
Yeah.
and nobody's able to see your house again. Um, but you were able to expose your house for sale. You were able to get it out there to all the richest people. So, because yes, I guess you could say, well, you know what? I have my network and I'm going to share it through my network. Well, but your network is not going to be as large as the network of exposing it to the whole entire
Yeah.
world,
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
right? So the argument could be, are you servicing your client to the best of your ability if you're not putting it out there for everyone to see?
Yeah. I mean, and speaking about like, servicing, like how do you service these clients like, fully? I mean, we talked about either deciding if you're gonna be putting it up in the market or if you're not, and just reach out to your sphere and your contacts that you have. What other ways can you service these, you know, luxury clients?
So I think it's really important before you start that you have a marketing strategy as far as making sure that you take care of all the maintenance issues. You take care of all the updating issues. You make sure that, yeah, that you stage the property. You make sure that you take the best photos of the place.
Yeah.
You make sure that then you have a campaign to go online. You have a social media campaign that you run. You have a campaign that you run on all the search engines, so that you are able to expose the property online. And then you also have a strategy of exposing the property to all the agents that are locally operating within the area, that are knowing the area, that are working with the clients that want to buy in that area. And because a lot of the times you cannot expose and you cannot expose the property through, for example, an open house. But you could have a private open house, meaning you could have a private party where all of these people are coming through the private party, parties and still are able to see the house, right? So those are some of the other ways that you can actually market the property. Um, and you had another question that came after it, which I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I mean, just to basically the servicing for these, you know, luxury clients, like the best way or, tips to how to service a luxury client. I mean, and also on that note, I mean, I would want to know if you've dealt with any like difficult, luxury clients, and if you could maybe give, everyone a little bit of insight on how you dealt with it, and you know,
I think one thing that's important is to make sure that that communication is key. Communication needs to be superb. The mode of communication is also very, very important. Your high net worth client is most likely very, very busy. So you've got to find out exactly how they like to be communicated with. Or sometimes you have intermediaries, so you may not your high net worth client might not even have the time to be talking and having direct communication with you, because the house that you're selling, no matter how valuable, it might not be the biggest priority on their plate that they're dealing with. So you have to know who is their representative that you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with the representative, there's got to be a strong bond and connection and good communication that's happening uh, between uh, between you and your team, and also the representative of your client as well, so that everything works out smoothly. Attention to details, I would say, is also very, very important. Um, we just dealt with a luxury client that was one of those super busy people who had a representative that we were basically, that was our point of contact, right?
yeah,
And I think in that case, the most important thing that we had to make sure we take care of was to make sure that uh, we pay attention to every little detail, because the representative knew that that was the most important thing to our client.
yeah,
Attention to detail, and making sure we care and we pay attention to every detail, both in terms of timing, in terms of preparing the property, in terms of advertising for the property, in terms of communication throughout the process, negotiating the deal.
yeah,
All of it comes down to superb communication as well.
yeah. And do you have any other advice for agents that are trying to like get in that, market or with those that clientele? What other advice maybe? I mean, besides just like you gave them some tips like during it, how could they maybe get those type of clients?
That comes down to the most important currency. And the most important currency when you're dealing with high net worth clients is the currency of trust. Because if you're dealing with a high net worth client, their biggest asset is not their money. Their biggest asset is their time. And when you're dealing with somebody who is super busy, then the way that they're going to create leverage for themselves is to leverage their time. And in order for them to leverage their time, they're going to have to surround themselves by people that they trust.
Yeah,
Okay, and so So that's how trust becomes the most currency, the most valuable currency when you're dealing with high net worth clients,
Yeah.
right? Um,
And have you learned anything from these clients? What is something you've learned in that, you've maybe started implementing from a client that you've had before?
you have to do what you're told, and you have to do it quickly and efficiently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be on your toes, and we always talk about this within our team: speed to lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to take care of something, you have to take care of it in a very time efficient manner, because again, we're talking about people whose time is more valuable than their money. So if they're asking for something, it is super important to get that done as quickly as possible, because time to them is more valuable than money. Therefore, the sooner that you can take care of their needs, the more valuable you become to them, the more trust you build. If you're making a promise, you need to make sure, no matter how small, right?
Yeah.
No matter how small. Like for example, I could say, go get me a coffee, and I need it within the next 15 minutes. And if you bring me a coffee, and it took you 20 minutes to bring me the coffee, it's not about the coffee, but it's about the trust,
Yeah.
right? Now you have broken the trust by being 5 minutes late, and I expected it. I basically set the time, and if that time happened, okay, you add it to the bank of trust. If it didn't happen, then you took away from the bank of trust,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's very simple. If you think about it, it's very simple to take care of a high net worth client, right? If
Yeah.
you think about the most valuable currency to them, which is time, and also to make sure that you gain their trust. So whatever the promise that it is that you make, you got to make sure that you deliver that promise in a timely fashion. Otherwise, you're uh, you're losing trust, or you're eroding from the bank of trust. And if you erode from the bank of trust, eventually the bank account is going to be empty, and that's not a good place for anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree with, what you just said. Do you have anything else you might want to add regarding
Let's talk about places like Rancho Santa Fe and La Jolla, and again, let's talk about um, marketing techniques, since in some of the places where you can do open houses, it could be easy to put signs out and draw people there, but it isn't as easy to put signs out in these neighborhoods uh, and get them in there. And I would say in those places you really want to rely on your online advertising to draw people into a place and create traffic, rather than signs, for
Yeah.
example,
Mm-hmm.
right? And of course, location, 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 because that's what matters the most.
Yeah. Very important.
So, all right. So on that note, let's ask everybody that's watching our video to give us a thumbs up if this video if they find this in a video helpful, right?
Yeah.
And also to subscribe to our channel, so that when we are posting more of these videos, they can join us. And if they're thinking of reaching out to me, there's my phone number. And if they're thinking of reaching out to you,
There's
there's
my
your
number.
phone number. And if they're thinking of joining our team, there is the website to check out what we have to offer. And also, if you they want to see what we're up to, there is our website, and our email address, our Facebook account, which I'm happy to hear Facebook is making an effort to coming back and becoming more popular. So let's make sure we are strong on, and with a high presence on Facebook as well as on Instagram, where it's really fun to post and to interact with followers.
Yep.
And beyond that, we are in San Diego, but we would love to be your go-to realtors. And if you're ever thinking of masterminding with an amazing group, comment below so that we can send you the link and welcome you to our mastermind groups. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Tell you a little bit more about what we have to offer. A lot of perks, a lot of stuff that we have to give. So looking forward to hearing from everyone, and hope to see them soon.
All right.
All right,
And
everyone.
see you
Have
later.
a great weekend.